Hello and welcome to another Simon Parker video. Simon says storytelling. I think that storytelling comes in three ways: books, movies, and shows. Practically the same thing, just one's longer than the other. And video games. And maybe a secret fourth. I think they rank in the way that I basically said them. I think if when it comes to storytelling, books are the worst. When it comes to books, you can read what they say, and your voice in your head when you're talking is how the character you are reading about sounds, unless it is specifically said how they sound, which I assume it does. But I'm just gonna say they don't. Actually, I'm gonna say they assume they do because I don't know how they talk. I don't know how books really lay out things. In shows and movies, it's one of the greatest ways you can experience storytelling. That's because you are able to fully immerse yourself in the world of the story. You can, unlike books, you can see what the person looks like who's talking. Unlike books, you can hear the cadence of the voice. You can understand the accent of the voice. You can understand the tone of voice when words being said. And you can also see like the backdrop. Like if we're talking about like a Disney princess or whatever, instead of reading about the description of this castle, you can simply just see the castle and its description. And they don't really need to pay attention or describe the castle. You don't need to pay attention to the castle because there it is. If it's not important, you don't need to describe it. It can just be there. And third of all, well, or third on the list, video games do all of that plus you are the person in the story. I have read two books in my life. And what I mean by that is not, I don't mean like when I was at school, I didn't care for reading, so I would throw all the books at the teacher, like, I'm not reading. I read books at school when I was forced to. I didn't want to, but when I was forced to, I read the books. What I mean though is on my own time, with my own money, with my own time, I picked up a book and read it. Those books are Assassin's Creed Black Flag, yes, the video game book. Well, not the video game book, the book based on the video game. And two, The Last of Us 1 and 2 script. I paid like 70, 60 bucks to read The Last of Us script. And I tell you what, it's a completely different experience, but I'll definitely play the game rather than read it. Because it's like, here's the thing. When I read that book, when I read The Last of Us book, it never said anything about how like they were talking. It was like it just said like uh daddy, oh no, ah, Joel picks up Joel picks up Sarah and goes, I've got you, baby girl. And the only way I know how that is said because I played the video game so much. So I can, instead of reading the words and going, this is how Joel would say this, I'm reading the book and also playing the video game in my head and saying, Joel says it like this, and then I read it in Joel's accent and voice, because I'm actually just replaying the game in my head. And maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, gays will end. At the end of the day, which is 4 in the morning now, so at the end of in about 5 seconds, yeah, um, yeah, video games are just better. Um, I think it's okay. So here's I was just talking about The Last of Us, so I'll talk about The Last of Us again. The Last of Us show. I'm going to upset a lot of people here, but it did the Sarah's death so dirty. They did it so close to it. It did it so close to the truth that makes it entertaining. But the thing that the show can't do, what the show truly cannot do, and why it becomes so bad, why people don't like the show that much and they love the video game so much, is because we've lived Sarah's life. We played as Sarah. We got to hear her little quips and her little jokes. Drugs, I sell hardcore drugs when she got Joel's watch fixed. That's funny. Which I think she said it in like the first. I think she said it in the series. Didn't hit as hard though. But like, I'd forgotten how the Last of Us series really begins. Well, not how it begins, but I think that just it just can't do it. Like 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 whatever you're doing right now, the person who's listening to this, yes, you, David, whatever you're doing right now, would you rather be doing what you're doing right now, controlling your body and doing things the way you want to be doing them in the way you want to do them, in the manner you want to do them, in the order you would like to do them? Or would you rather watch someone do the things you're doing? Like, would you rather watch someone else act their life, would you rather watch someone do the things you're doing right now currently, or would you rather do the things you're doing right now currently? I mean, you would rather do the things you're doing right now currently, right? There's people who do like who like people watching and stuff, but like at the end of the day, you're not gonna like watch someone have a good time then end your life there because you had your time or whatever. It's just like video games can tell a story way beyond any other platform. And here we come to the fourth option: role playing games. More specifically, tabletop role playing games. More specifically, Dungeons and Dragons. I think the more I play Dungeons and Dragons, I play every Monday, and I've played every Monday for like 3.5 years, maybe 4 years. And man, the thing is, right, the more like the further it goes, books, movies and shows, video games, Dungeons and Dragons. The more you go up the list, the wider the box becomes. So it goes, this is exactly what happens. This is exactly what it said. This is exactly what we want you to see. Then it becomes shows and movies. So it shows, this is how it's said. This is the cadence. This is the facial features. This is how like you know when people are lying when they say the words but the face doesn't match what they're saying. And you can see that. And you can see that you see that. And you don't need to read or you don't need to be told that that person is lying. You can just see that that person is lying. You can see the castle in the background without being told there's a castle in the background. Then we go to video games, where you can sometimes choose the dialogue you want to pick. You can sometimes go, instead of going directly to the person you talk to, go over to the left a bit, go and check out what's this an abandoned building. Instead of talking to the person outside the castle, let me go in the castle. What's in the castle? Who's in the castle? Who can I talk to in the castle? And three, and the fourth is instead of talking to the person at the castle, instead of going into the castle, instead of talking to anyone near the castle, I've spent the past 2 years learning how to ride dragons. I've gone to a cave, I've learned how to ride a dragon. Me and my dragon are now best friends. We got married, and now we've got dragonborn children. And now I'm going to ride this dragon around the world. And eventually I might come across this castle, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll find something else to do. Doing that will annoy your DM, admittedly, but at the end of the day, the more. Here's the thing, though, right? I've told you how great these things are. I've told you how great, like, books. Books used to be the greatest thing in the world, and then shows became the greatest thing in the world. It can't get better than this. And then they turned the shows into coloured. It was no longer black and white. It was purples, greens, yellows, pinks, blues, every colour under the rainbow, and then some. And then it was video games where you can actually do what you wanted to do in the video game. Fuck going over here and going to the story. I want to go over here and talk to this big guy. And then it was like do what you want, like actions and consequences. I want to talk to this old woman, but she's actually the bandit leader. If I threaten this old lady who I don't know the bandit leader is, I'm gonna get stabbed in my sleep. Or maybe like I'll get woken up with a bunch of bandits like killing my friends or whatever. What's going to be storytelling in 50 years? Though video games are not that new, though Dungeons and Dragons is actually very old, very old. There's people in their like 40s who are like whatever, but you know what I mean. In 50 years' time, what's going to be the things? Is it going to be like Dungeons and Dragons, where you have this open world and you can do truly whatever you want to do, and it is just like you can do whatever you want. There's no freedom to it. There's complete freedom to it. Like a flight simulator kind of grand scale world where if any choice is up to you and it's got a super complex story that you don't need to listen to at all. Like Skyrim, but if Skyrim was a million times bigger than it is and you're not like pushed to this one story kind of arc. I'm really looking forward to what that could be in the future, but I really don't know what it will be. Um, I was talking to myself about earlier about what is my favorite video game of all time, and I don't know. I think I'm stuck between. I'm stuck between The Last of Us and God of War. So no, actually, no, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. My top three. I my favorite video games of all time are The Last of Us, Death Stranding, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and God of War. All of those games at number one position. If I were to really break it down, and we're going to do that now, I think I think The Last of Us is. I don't care what anyone else says. I think it's one of the great. I think it is the greatest video game, story and gameplay of all time. It is so immersive when you play the game and you break a bottle. It sounds like a bottle just broke. Shooting guns sounds like you shot a gun. It's like the rain sounds like rain. Rain on metal sounds like metal is being rained on next to you. If you put a coat on, it sounds like your coat is getting like rained on. As you can like hear the coats. It's just so immersive. It's so perfect. The first one, I would say, it shows its age, kind of. Was like it's quite a very old game, like maybe 2013, something like that. Um, but at the end of the day, I think as much as they knocked it out of the park with the first game, I think that Neil Druckmann got a ball thrown at him. He knocked it out of the park. He ran, caught the ball, threw it, went back to home base, hit the ball again, knocked it out of the park again. It's such an incredible game. The second game is incredible. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is perfect. I don't care about your Final Fantasies. I don't care about your whatever games. It is just better. More games doesn't mean better. Like epic games doesn't mean better. It is just the perfect game. Second game, I think, has to be. I think it has to be, if it comes to storytelling, I think it has to be God of War. And when I say God of War, I do mean all the games. I do think some games let it down. Maybe, if I could be paid to say this, that God of War Ragnarok could have been a DLC for the first game, being the 2016 game. But I think it tells such a different story. It tells such a story of. It tells a story of love, about change. It tells a story that like Kratos was the bad guy. He is the bad guy. I mean, how many people do you think would say that Kratos is the bad guy about? Two. Millions. Actually, screw that. Billions. He killed everyone on Earth pretty much when he killed the pantheon of Greek gods. Like, he killed everyone. He walked away. He met a woman. They fell in love. They had a kid. And then this. I don't want to say this because it's been said to me, but this rage machine, this thing that only knows how to mess up, kill, and destroy, is now becoming a father. And how does a monster become a father? Through completely scarring this kid, but trying to be better. And the second game, Ragnarok, basically is like how being better. Being better is what you should do, but it's going to suck along the way. And you see that with Thor in the Ragnarok as well. It's like, we are destroyers. No, we have to be better for our children. And then I think third place I'm very stuck on. But if I was to pick up at this time at almost at 4:30 in the morning, pretty much, what game would I play if gone to my head what game I'd play? I think I would play Death Stranding 1 and 2. I think I think the story is so actually no. I think no. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance is tells such a complex and investigative story that it has to be up there. It has to be top. It has to be in the third. though I like it's so the gameplay is so difficult. It's such a hard game to play, but at the end of the day, like it just does what it's supposed to do so well. And then the third game I have to put the fourth game I have to put Death Stranding. I think it tells like an incredible story of what human resilience can do when there is nothing left to do. When every man, woman, and child wouldn't blame you for giving up. What it looks like when a man just goes, I'm going to do this till I'm dead. And then when I'm dead, I'm going to continue. It tells a story that's never been done before. It tells a story that is very interesting to me and a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people would understand the game, but I think it's extraordinary. I love the gameplay. I love this. I love the world. It's just a very good game. So those are my top four tab games. I think if I was going to pick, if I was going to round the number up and do a top five, I think Minecraft has to be in there. I think I play it too much to not be in the list. I think I've got over 2,000 hours in Minecraft alone on PlayStation alone. That ignores Xbox and computer. Just PlayStation over 2,000 hours. So that's me. Let me tell me down in the description what you think is in your top five or top three, and if you agree with my assessment that those games are the greatest games of all time. This has been Simon Parker. I will see you in the next video. Ta ta.